to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. And let's just get our Austin Butlers into gear, as we had our butter on top bike riders, which is probably a bit of Oscar bait now that I've watched it. I don't.
Oh my god! Can you imagine if it gets announced as the winner of something, and the winner is Bike Riders? Stupidest title.
That's like if they made a film adaptation of Paperboy.
Yeah, I watched that shit.
It reminds me of the South. It reminds me of the South Park bit where, like, the sixth graders, whatever, they're like a motors. They pull up on their bikes, like their little bicycles, and
You just reminded me of it. I totally forgot about it until you did the. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. That is what it's like watching Austin Butler be a tough guy bike rider. Anyway, I don't know. I'm getting old, I guess. I just don't see Austin Butler as a tough guy ever. You made an interesting point. Go ahead, Jordan.
What else? Who else was in the movie?
Well, he's like the new age Johnny Depp, you know, the tortured, sensitive, you know, there's some crazy underneath there again. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know, but, you know, lacking probably the Johnny Depp comedic element, but, you know, I could definitely see him taking over those young Johnny Depp roles.
Smoldering, dog.
Well, they also
smoldering, yeah, he smolders.
Does he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, he's intended to, at least.
Like anymore. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it was cool to see. We got a little bit of Michael Shannon, which caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to see Michael. And he's one of my top 5 actors right now.
He stole every scene. All of my favorite dialogue in this movie was all Michael Shannon.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the Pinkos thing. I told him if he doesn't quit college right now, I'll never speak to him again. And he quit college.
What? I can't join the army because of my ears. It's not because of my ears. It was good, and he was great. Jodie, Comer playing Kathy. That was interesting. I don't know, man. That's another hard one to buy for me. It was just a couple people that were cast that it was just hard to buy, I think, for me. It wasn't a bad movie. It was a good movie, good story, very Americana-based story when we were watching it, and it's one of those movies that really draws people to America, to be honest. It is. It's kind of like what people believe we are, whether it be a country western or a biker gang movie. And the funny thing is this stuff really happened. Like, this is our history. Like, speakeasies, rebelling against what is supposed to be the rules. I mean, that's really where the bike riders were. They're rebelling against, you know, probably what they perceive as an unfair rule. And this progresses quickly into what it becomes. Almost a story of how one bad apple can spoil the whole bunch. And of course we have another kid that they want me to be convinced is a tough guy because he eventually has a weapon at the end of the movie.
I got a knife.
And no. He looks like, I mean, like, honestly, I don't think this is a spoiler. Tom Hardy takes this kid out. And Tom Hardy is actually kind of like what I would like to see as a tough guy. Like, that's the actor. Like, that works a little bit better, especially if you watch the movie Warrior, which Jordan reviewed on here. You can really see Tom Hardy as that action star, that tough guy.
Warrior.
Right? Mm-hmm. But this kid, this punk ass, it's like trying to convince me that Orlando Bloom is tough. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Legolas is getting slapped. That's how that's going down. Okay? Like, if he doesn't hit me with that arrow, he's just taking an open hand slap because that's all it's going to take. He's a scrawny little dude. All right? And they do it again with multiple characters in this. And I don't... Are we just trying to convince Gen Alpha and Gen Z that it's okay to be like you can stand up to big tough guys if you're scrawny and tiny and you can be the lead? Like, what are we doing with this? Because I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know. It's a movie. But my favorite part is the interviewer guy. It's a movie. Come on. Yeah.
Cut it.
Certified movie.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the big beef boys should just get a little bit prettier. Have you ever thought about that? And maybe they would get these leading roles.
Look, I look better than the people that these people's girlfriends stare at on TikTok that are all 28. Okay? So I don't think we need to get any better looking. I think we just need to stop allowing people that it's almost like when the kid that was picked on becomes the cop and gets that false sense of power. Now it's like, oh, well, watch, I'll be the tough hero now. No, dude, give me Stallone. Give me Stallone again. Give me Schwarzenegger. Give me even Bruce Willis was the tiny one in that group. Give me Chuck Norris. Like, give me Walker, Texas Ranger in some cowboy boots and a jean jacket. That Canadian tuxedo. Don't give me scrawny Austin Butler and this new kid on the scene, Toby Wallace. What are we
the Challengers guy?
Yeah.
The interviewer?
It's no. The interviewer was fine. I was fine with him. That actor did a fine job. He was actually very good in that role.
That's the new Ezra Miller.
Is
I
it?
swear to God, I thought it was him for like a couple minutes, and I was like, oh no, this is what they're doing. He's the safe Ezra Miller now.
Toby Wallace is the guy that becomes infatuated with the character that becomes infatuated with the Vandals of Chicago and wants to join up.
Yeah,
that's Toby Wallace. And I'm sorry, dude, you're not going to convince me. But another cameo before I give you guys my rating. Norman Reedus makes an appearance. Yeah, and that was kind of interesting to see. It took me a minute. I was like, "Is that who?" And then I was like, it's Daryl. It's Norman Reedus. I caught it because the black teeth. I think threw me off completely. But you know who I could see if this movie was made playing the lead actress role, the Kathy role? If this movie was made like 20 years ago.
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah. You nailed it. Perfect. Yeah. 100%. I was like that. You know, we need to find a new Marissa Tomei because Marissa Tomei would have crushed that role.
She could still play that role. She still could have played that role at this age.
Yeah, I agree. Popcorn 2 for me, Jordan. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the acting was good. I thought the way that they may have been miscast, but the way that they did what they were capable of doing was very well. They executed well. The Reedus was good. You know, this is what bikers look like in California, I guess. I wonder what the rest.
1,000 of them rolling up on you.
Yeah. That was good. Like I said, I thought this movie was just a little bit safe for a motorcycle movie. It had just the bare minimum amount of seasonings and pepper in there, but it needed just that something to really just to drive it up, to really bring it home, and that it lacked. Yeah,
let Tom go crazy a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. He needed more.
Get a little nuts. She says he went psycho, and then we don't really get to see him go psycho. We see him, do some vandalism, but we don't see the psycho. And I wanted to see, Taboo Tom Hardy, the Revenant Tom Hardy, and the director never really pulled that out of him.
Yeah, for sure. I give this a popcorn and 2 as well. Yeah.
What are your complaints about it? I want to hear your complaints about it because I agree it was a good movie. The sound mixing again, man. They're getting so good because the motorcycle. It's gonna be nominated for best adapted screenplay because it's adapted from a book. It was adapted from a book written by a photographer, and they tell you that very early. So it'll be nominated for that. It'll be nominated for sound mixing, probably costume design, but I don't think we're gonna get any actor nods.
Yeah, this movie needed some small other dramatic element that maybe would have added 20 minutes to this movie or something. I'm just not into I'm not into the tough guy bike motorcycle gang type of thing, the whole Sons of Anarchy thing. And they don't even sell that very well in this. Like a lot of the guys, when they're going through interviewing each guy and they're like, so why are you in this? It just confirms everything pretty much what I think about it. It's just pretty lame. It's like
she says that though, doesn't she? She says most of these guys were candy asses.
Yeah.
Remember? So yeah, but also you see when it turns, and it does not turn for the better big tough guy. It turns for the way worse in what the perception is today, I think.
So it's just crazy sick people.
Yeah, exactly. Mentally ill.
Yeah.
Like that, you get that. That kid's not normal. The wallet, the one that the kid is just his name. Like that's not a normal reaction. He chokes out his like stepfather. You know, like he's not a normal. He's not there mentally. But it's I don't know, man.
He was crazy, and he was the skinny, scrawny boy, but he was the one that was crazy enough to do what he had wanted to do.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. Josh, you any experience with bike riding?
I'm a bicycle guy. So whenever someone is talking about their bike at work and I overhear it, I'm like, oh, you ride bikes? Yeah, me too. All right. And like the look on their face when they find out I'm talking about my bicycle is great.
What, like when you finally drop, like what's your 10 speed look like?
Yeah. It's a 21 speed, but that is pretty cool to go back to.
That's a nice bike.
You got a hoofy. That's a hoofy. Going back to what you said, Frye, though, this is just obviously a very American movie. I mean, just using the highway in general, the open road, that whole thing, it's not like America invented that, but we had like the best highways first. You know what I mean? Like it's very Hollywood. It's like our thing. There was a place called Rome once, but I'm talking about like getting in a car,
the
driving
open
all the way to
road,
California.
getting in a car and driving. That's a very American thing.
Yeah,
we stole the interstate highway system from Germany. Eisenhower stole that from Germany after World War II. Okay, so that's why we have this. So Josh, you're right. I get that, but no, the open road, freedom is freedom,
and the troops and the flag.
Somebody was asking us that today or yesterday when we were in London. They were like, everybody in America has a car. It's crazy. I couldn't even imagine everyone here having a car, but everyone in America has a car. And I think I said, the only way I could describe when he's asking me this question was, I think to Americans it represents freedom. And I think that's true. Like when you get your license at 16 and you get a car and it's just the road and you're free. You're not trapped anymore.
Yep. Very marketable for cinematography.
You know what this movie really needed? Was Tony Jaa. No, it was Tony Jaa on the back of a motorcycle.
And that leads us to Josh's drunk classic, starring Tony Jaa. A little bit before he had the English piece down, right? Yeah. So Ong Bak, which I mistake for IP Man. I had it mixed up with IP Man. Yeah. I have seen Ong Bak.
Hitman.
And so when I was telling Josh, I haven't seen that, everyone kept recommending it. I was actually talking about IP Man, and then I turned it on, and we get to a scene in this, Josh, where he's running from the gang, and he starts pulling out the butcher knives and all that stuff, and he grabs a big knife. I was like, I have seen this movie.
Yeah, that was a good little chase scene, huh? I like the I like the bad guys. Ip Man, that's a great movie though. We gotta check that one out. Ong Bak, yes, it came out. I saw it like in theaters opening night kind of thing. No one really knew what it was. It was not really marketed heavily, but this is a Thai movie, kickboxing, Tony Jaa, all the stunts done by the people. And speaking of stunts, do you notice everyone who got their head mollywopped was wearing a wig or a hat?
Like, shout out to the guy at King's Cross train station today, by the way, with his hairpiece, with his toupee, wearing it in all this confidence, and that was good for you, sir. If you watch our show, I salute your confidence, because that was a thing.
But yeah, like the Chinese fast footwork guy, he had the big old pulled out afro, and everyone was wearing a hat. That was funny, but that's a testament to these dudes are really fighting, and it's really great choreography, storytelling within the fight. The stunts were cool. The story, going back to it, it's not really actually that bad. I mean, it wasn't great. It was really simple, and they just stuck to it. So I give it good marks this time around instead of saying bad writing. And then I also said you can even mute it and just put music on. But I take that back as well, because pretty dang good soundtrack, if I might say. Like, I would work out to that. I forgot the RZA produced this. He found the movie and brought it over to America.
that was definitely one of my notes. Was that, man, during the little taxi cab, little tuk-tuk or whatever the heck they call those things,
Yeah.
little car chase. They had a little beat. Yeah, dude. They had a little beat going there. I was like, man, this is
that's
good.
the RZA, man. The RZA makes them tracks. Yeah, he's great. And this was, I think, maybe the start of him getting heavily invested into kung fu movies, because he's pulled a few since. Like Man with Iron Fist, he was in that, right?
I was gonna say, wasn't he the Man with Iron Fist? You got. Yeah. I was sitting here thinking about it after you said that. I was like, wasn't that the Man with the Iron Fist as well? And 2 and 3. That spawned 2 sequels. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. The whole time he didn't have to pee. All 3 movies.
No.
Anyway, I really liked this movie. I thought it progressed really well. I liked how ridiculous all the bad guys were. Like the one American with the long hair. Oh,
and then I'm gonna take your women, and I want her.
Yeah. Come on. Oh, it was really weird. All the characters were weird. They had a lot of characters. It was like you were watching a fighting game, and that's what a kung fu movie should be. I give this a popcorn and 2.
A fighting game.
Yeah, you're watching Street Fighter, and the moves were cool. There were some cool moves, dude. Yeah.
My criticism is that he does hit a lot of the same moves a lot. It's like but it is like a guy in Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter that just is mashing buttons, kind of the same button over and over, but it's just working. It's just beating the hell out of you. I love insults in like the subtitles of like these kung fu movies, because they're very they just seem very like elementary, kind of like I love like scumbag is one of my favorite insults or something. Like it's pretty. Hey, funny.
You! What are you? Some kind of goon?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, and shout out to Abuela at the beginning. You must save the village. Her acting was perfect.
I have a note on that too.
But the choreography of the fighting and the parkour stuff is funny, and I actually like the way that they pulled off the slow motions and the replays.
They did it with like not a care in the world. Like, oh, you're gonna want to see this again. Let's just go ahead and run it back.
Yeah, and I totally agreed. I agreed with it every time. I was like, that was show every me again, time. Please. That was cool.
Flip that angle real quick.
I love kind of what you mentioned too. I love the broad range of these characters that just hang out in these Thai fighting clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Broad range.
You never never know who you're going to run into. Yeah. It's.
I can't tell if you're being serious or joking around. Like their broad range. Their broad range is this. Hot. Hey, let's fight. Oh, not me though. No, maybe this time.
There's like I don't know, disco Khabib Nurmagomedov guy with the hair, and then there's like I know. Yeah. I really loved it. And one of my favorite things that you may not have noticed, but go back and watch it again. And I don't know why this caught me and I had to rewind it and watch it again, but they're doing the whole parade at the end of the thing for him. Oh, yeah. And he's like spray painted gold or something like that. And they're like carrying him on a chair. And there's a girl that's walking alongside the parade and she's smiling, and her friend or something next to her in the scene looks at the camera. And the girl like hits her and gives her a dirty look, and then goes back to smiling and celebrating. Like it was totally just like, I was like,
yo, girl, you're looking a little too hard at my man.
Yeah, I was that cracked me. I was like, did that really happen? But no, this was a really fun movie. I liked it. Popcorn in 1.
Popcorn in 1. So, for the old lady also has like a young lady that is paired with her throughout her scenes. Like there's a young girl and the old lady, and they have a little bit of a dialogue back and forth. And the lady at one point goes, what happens when the well runs dry? And no one says anything. And in my head I was just like, we die. That's what happens. We all just die. Yeah. We have one well in this whole village and we're dead. Essentially, if we don't get the head of that statue back and make it magically create water, we are bleak. That's how this goes down. And the chase scene is just dumb. I mean, it's awesome and action packed, but it is so stupid. It is so stupid.
Dude, the barbed wire, all the way they're carrying everything.
The way they just stop and stare at each other multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, why do they keep stopping and looking at each other? There's a cart in our way. Let's stare at each other. There's a chicken crossing the road. Let's stare at each other. There's a guy chopping watermelons. Let's stare at each other. And then they'll run and do flippity flips and go crazy. But then it's like, oh no, a donkey's in the road. Like, you can't get around some of this stuff. And I'm looking, I was like, there's so much space on every side of this thing that's in the way.
Yeah.
So it is obscure. It is literally ridiculous, but it's meant to be. It's meant to be silly. I think that it didn't take itself seriously, and I hope I'm accurate in that, because I just didn't feel that the whole time.
They took the stunts seriously, but yeah.
The tree climbing scene was, I mean, I was like, man, climbing that tree looks like a blast until you fall and die.
Yeah,
people were getting messed up, dude.
Yeah, like you're telling me one person didn't fall wrong and just snap their neck? Like, it was crazy. Tony Jaa's great. It was the introduction of the world to Tony Jaa, and I think that we should have used him more. Jackie Chan's still 1, Jet Li's still 2, Tony Jaa's 3. But I can only imagine, like, if we had more time with Tony Jaa films, and
I wonder what he's doing.
What we could have gotten out of it.
He was in Fast and the Furious recently, or something.
Was
he was in something. Some of these action films. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He was.
I did have this mixed up.
Yeah.
I had this mixed up with because last week I said it has a really cool one-shot, one-take fight scene where he goes up a hotel. That was The Protector. I forgot. That's also a great movie. Pretty much the exact same movie.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same movie. They just change a few things.
Yeah.
Like, it's an elephant now, not a head.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, doesn't he stand on the tusks of the elephant and fight on the tusks? Yeah,
it was cool. And it has that really big dude that died in the Trojan War movie. The big bald guy who's always the bad guy. You know what I mean? He was a wrestler for a little while.
All right, so Popcorn and 1 for me. Josh, what else were you watching this week?
Oh, well, I didn't have much. I have a movie that's leaving Netflix soon, so I thought, well, we better get this in because it's a good one. Inside Man with everyone cool. It's got Denzel Washington. It's got Clive Owen. And you know what? Jodie Foster. But why keep saying more things? You've seen this. Everyone's seen this, or you're stupid. It's a good movie. I don't think it's the movie, but I think for the type of movie it is, there really hasn't been hostages, bank robbing, detective versus criminal.
The Usual Suspects.
A little bit of Usual Suspects action. Reminded me of the hostage. No, the Negotiator with Spacey and what's his face?
Oh my gosh,
Sam Jackson.
Isn't that Denzel too? Oh, it's Sam Jackson.
Yeah. But yeah, you get to see.
Let's be easy. I don't have the film in front of me, okay? I'm pulling that from memory.
Was it Snoop Dogg? I think it was Snoop Dogg.
Was it Snoop Dogg?
I like this movie, dude.
I think you need to let these people be out of here, homie. Be easy, dog. Why you doing all this stuff you don't need to be starting? Let's face it, Josh. They're just not like us.
They're not like us. It's a great movie, dude. It's they make tension cut like a knife throughout the movie and never really lets up. You're kind of tense the whole time. You get to see just great dialogue, great characters working back and forth, jumping from this character interaction to that one. Clive Owen plays that role perfectly, but I think that's just him on a regular day. He's just I'll have a nice coffee, please. Thank
Interchangeable
you.
With Eric Bana.
Kinda. Yeah. They could both play each other's roles, I think.
Yeah.
Except for Munich, because I don't think Clive Owen's Jewish, is he? Anyway. Munich was good. Remember Munich?
Munich's great.
Oh, you gotta watch Munich, bud. That's historical fiction.
Yeah.
Historical truth. It really happened. Back to this movie.
The Olympics.
Yeah, inside job, great, cool twists. You don't really know what's happening. You don't know why it's happening. The way everyone's so smart and they outsmart each other, but they don't. Like, oh, you were smart, didn't you, detective? Well, I think I am pretty smart. I'm going up for a promotion. Anyway, that's the movie. I just gave it away. I gave this a popcorn.
I've got enough ramen in this wall to last me weeks.
It's a good movie. I think everyone should see it. I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but I say popcorn and 2.
No, it's entertaining though. It will definitely. I think I like the popcorn and 2 rating. It's one of those movies that will keep you there. Like you're actually interested. It's if you're on your cell phone, you don't know what's happening in Inside Man.
You gotta watch it.
I'd probably go down to a pop 1. I really like the movie throughout, but I just feel like the twist that they kind of try to throw at you at the end it didn't deliver it just wasn't as clever
how did he do
as
that?
I thought.
I mean, now I'm making a top ramen joke about it, but I mean, like, they Shawshanked it. They reverse Shawshanked a bank.
The reverse of Shawshank, dog.
Apple Bapo,
dog.
Apple Bapo. All right, Jordan. So, what was your first movie on your agenda?
My first movie, I watched Memento, which is a Christopher Nolan film that you guys had recommended when we watched. What did we watch that led to you see? Insomnia was your drunk classic, one of y'all's drunk classic. It's an interesting concept. Yes, it was yours. It was an interesting concept that it plays with very well, but it's just so all over the place. It is very hard to figure out what is happening, and I suppose that's by intention. Yeah. But there's just no, I couldn't follow this narrative at all. What was happening currently, what happened before, what was flashing forward. Trinity is in this movie, the actress who plays Trinity.
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yes, she was really, really good in this.
She's great in everything, to be clear.
Yeah, she goes on a brutal tirade against him that just makes you hate her, makes you super disgusted by her. She's pretty crazy. I love this thing in these semi-older, like, I don't know, early 2000s, late 90s movies, that the tattoo artist is always this just like kind of burly old woman with like a Jerry curl like hairstyle and a flannel shirt with no sleeves.
Sometimes you just gotta let your soul glow.
Yeah, you know. I've never run across that style of tattoo artist.
That's not what you're looking for, Jordan.
But it's a Hollywood thing, I guess. I don't know.
My husband was a Navy vet.
You know, I did all his tattoos. Stops tattooing you in the middle of the tattoo. Lord knows I love that man.
Now I don't tattoo children no more.
I was bored. Halfway through this movie, I was bored as hell. I'm sorry. I didn't love it. I didn't like it.
Who are you apologizing to?
I don't know. I just feel like this
apologizing to me.
Well, maybe. I feel like this. I just feel like this is a movie that's always on a list. It's always on a list. It's always on. Oh, this is a movie you have to see. Blah blah blah. Christopher Nolan. It's a top Christopher Nolan film. Yeah, no, not for me. I give this a popcorn.
Okay,
popcorn, you say?
Yeah,
it's the concept, right? Like sometimes
the concept,
yes, because of concepts. Like we think back, like even there's like this old Robin Williams movie that I really liked, and I don't know why people didn't like it. And I was only into it. Like I don't think it was well acted. I don't think it was a great movie, but I can't even remember the title of it. Right?
Toys.
That's how much. But I remember the concept of the movie, and it's essentially at birth we have cameras put into our eyes that record our entire life.
Like
and
Bicentennial Man or something. I don't know.
No. Like, and people rebel against this, so they get like a digital tattoo that basically blocks the frequency of the camera, so it's not always recording because like the police use it to like hunt people down. But I think it's called the Cutter. To be honest, I think it's called the Cutter because his job when people die is to use the footage from their eyes to cut like a funeral video of themselves. Yeah. And but the concept of it, I was like, that's super interesting. It's like, why don't they do a Harrison Bergeron movie? Because they can't. The concept's just too deep.
I don't know who Harrison Bergeron is, but that sounds deep.
Yeah, I think the concept is the move here, and I think that's that's the majority of Christopher Nolan's work. He's telling you a story, and the story is cool, but he's gonna tell it like this. So every movie becomes a puzzle that you're watching unfold and hopefully figuring out. I still don't understand Inception, really.
I do.
I haven't seen Tenet, but I heard that's rough. But yeah, the movie is set up in a certain way where the present day scenes are in color and they're being played in reverse order, timeline wise. And then the black and white scenes are previously, but playing forward. So the movie's happening backwards and forwards on two different timelines. And that's, for people who don't know, he can't remember stuff. So it's to show you don't remember stuff either, just like him. So you're trying to figure this out just like him.
You're just as dumb.
You're a dumb too. Yeah, so that's cool. When you see it, when you're like post high school, you're like, "Oh, dude, this is crazy! Can you believe it?" And like you like look at diagrams on YouTube and try to figure it out.
You know what happened to all of his memories?
Well,
he
broke up them.
Oh, buddy. So I think it's interesting. I think it makes you think. I've revisited it, watched it quite a bit.
Double ED.
And I used to have the the Criterion collection or whatever it is, like the special edition with like 3 discs and like manuals and like all kinds of literature about it and the process. So I got into this movie. I don't think it's a popcorn in 3, but I definitely say everyone should see it, and it's popcorn in 2.
I didn't understand Inception either, the first 1 or 2 times I watched it, but it was so entertaining that I liked it that like I took it as a personal challenge. Like I'm going to watch this movie 30 minutes by 30 minutes of it and just process it and figure it out. And yeah, this movie I don't want to watch again. I don't even care to watch again. Yeah. I don't even care
to watch again.
I don't care to watch it again to try and figure it out.
Wow.
I was thoroughly bored. Yeah. Okay, I don't care.
Okay, I don't care. Prestige did it better, you'd say then.
All right, so I watched Joe Coy live from Brooklyn. It's Joe Coy's new comedy special. I basically took Jordan's lane a little bit here, but I do like Joe Coy, so sometimes they'll catch me. I'm not as hip to the new comedians as you two are because you two are way deeper in the YouTube podcast stuff, and I'm not. I don't know who's up and coming. And usually when you guys recommend somebody, I think their comedy's stupid. Like, it doesn't make me laugh. But Joe Coy does, and I don't know why. I don't know why he just makes me laugh. And in this, like...
He's almost you. Like, you have the same energy, dog. The two of you have the exact same energy.
Maybe. I don't know where that's a compliment or an insult.
I like Joe Coy.
Thanks, I'm glad you like me too.
I'm still hosting any award shows.
But no, he does have a spot in this, and I'm not going to give you the whole thing. It's only an hour long. You should watch it. You should support him because he bombed at the Golden Globes, and I do think it's because of his style of comedy. Like you have to understand him. It's very culture centric or audience centric, and if the audience isn't playing back with him, he's not going to be as hot. Like if they don't get his jokes, and he's going to go for shit. Like he's going to make fun of groups of people, and the Golden Globes is just not the place to do that. They're all highfalutin, and they forget that they're humans that do the same exact shit. They got to act all proper there, and I hate it. But it's the world we live in now. So Joe Coy goes for it, and there's a kid, just like what happened?
I just imagined, like the tabloid the next day. Helen Mirren laughs a little too hard at that black joke.
What does Leonardo DiCaprio understand about being Filipino? What you don't know might shock you. But no, he does the John Mulaney thing where he has a kid in the audience, and I'm sure it's a plan because his comedy is not for kids. Right. But he just goes off on this kid about his mom and what happened to his mom giving birth, and I was dying because I know it's situational, I know it's a plan, but I'm like, what if this was really just a kid and now he's got to look at his mom in this whole new light of giving birth to him? And he tells this story about when his ex-wife, gave birth, how he passed out 3 times during the birth. And it had me dying. I was dead. I was laughing so hard. He has a joke too because he is Filipino, and he asks an Asian gentleman about like how old are your kids, and the guy looks up and he goes, "Yeah, see, we don't know how old our kids are. We don't care." He's like, "You see that mother effer just looks straight up when I ask him how old his kids are." So I gave it a pop one. It is, if you like Joe Coy, it is worth it, and you will laugh. Jordan, what was next?
So I watched the Boondock Saints I believe on Amazon Prime. I had finished Memento, and it was just kind of on my list of it was on my list, the next thing on there. So I was like, all right, we'll watch this. It's time. My introduction to the Boondock Saints is a funny one. We go back a ways. So when the TV show, The Boondocks came out, and it was relatively obscure, I was trying to download episodes of it on like Napster or something. I
already know what happened.
And I downloaded clips of the movie The Boondock Saints multiple times, and I was furious. I was cursing The Boondock Saints.
I love it.
But later on, when this inevitably ended up on cult classic lists and things like, this is a movie you have to see, and I'd see clips of it. This was a fun movie. There's just a lot. It's packed with a lot of scenes of just, what the hell is this adding to the movie, really?
Yeah.
But they also feel pretty necessary too.
Mm-hmm.
It's organic, somehow.
Yeah. They're just ridiculous character after ridiculous character. Willem Dafoe, especially, just excellent Willem Dafoe. This movie is definitely not PC for today. It doesn't carry over in that
like
sense.
We're curving back in that direction though.
It always bends and flexes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're curving back to being a little bit less of a PC culture.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way, not in a shitty Trumpian way. Like in the appropriate way where we recognize the pendulum swung a little too far in another direction, and we overcorrected, and now we're trying to get balance again. Like that's kind of what I feel like I've been seeing out of some stuff is we're trying to get it back to where we could laugh at ourselves and each other again in an appropriate way.
Yeah, you just can't laugh a little too hard, like Helen Mirren. You got to do the cringe laugh. Yeah, you got to go, oh.
Or the exhale laugh. Yeah. The exhale laugh where you go,
or one of my favorite Hollywood ones, the one where they know they're on camera, they got caught laughing, and they do the no, that's naughty. Yeah.
Oh man, it's completely awful what they do to a cat in this movie. Aww. I hated that a lot. It gives it a full point deduction. It was so unnecessary. The action of this movie is over the top in a good way. It's very, just the whole movie is just like accidental cool. Like this cool thing happens on accident. With these guys, they're not like these trained assassins really, but they're just, I don't know what to make of them or this movie, but it was fun. I was really entertained and I liked it. I don't know if I'd watch the sequel. I know there is a sequel. Is it any good? Has anybody seen it?
Don't do it.
Exactly. That's what I imagine. There's three? There's three sequels. Oh boy.
Yep.
You know what?
On the way.
I have to give this movie on quality. I have to just give this movie a popcorn, but it was a good popcorn. I'd say watch it. Watch it.
It's a drunk classic, okay?
Yeah.
I watched Hitman. Jordan already reviewed this. I actually watched it last week, and I didn't give it a huge review because Jordan had already reviewed it, so it flew beneath two of my reviews that had like meaty reviews.
Yeah.
One thing I will say: are we allowed to say? Are we allowed to say that a movie has a great sex scene in it anymore?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Sure.
Are we allowed to do that?
But what do you mean when you say that?
I only remember the movie Taking Lives because of the sex scene and because of it was during my formative years. Do you guys know what movie Taking Lives is?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Jolie?
Yeah, Jolie, Ethan Hawke.
I haven't seen
Angelina Jolie and Ethan Hawke. And it's a whodunit murder mystery flick. And I just remember it had, as a teenage man, it had one of the best sex scenes I'd ever seen.
All
and
right,
I don't know if we're allowed to comment on it.
We know what you were doing. We get it.
Papo, bro.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. And did it become my
No, you
Porkies?
froze
Is
that
that what
right.
you're saying?
No, but what do you mean when you
but
say
no.
a good sex scene?
No, it's just like it's not like crazy over the top. It's just like, okay, like that was actually, and it doesn't show anything. To be clear to the audience, like I'm not trying to like throw you. It shows nothing. It's just like, okay, that was actually a well shot sex scene. That was a good sex scene. Like most of the time, they make you like weird or uncomfortable, or you don't watch it with your spouse. You like you check to see if your spouse is looking at you, your partner, while you're watching it.
You want some popcorn? Let me some popcorn.
No, it's
and
a
then
good
you do the
sex
gorilla
scene.
walk to the popcorn.
It's a good sex scene when you look over and she's digging it as well.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, you get the popcorn, you drag your left leg a little bit too much. It was a really good movie, though. I'm not sure I like the ending. I don't know. That might be my only knock on the movie. It does go in a few different directions. I'm not sure that there was a lot of closure in how things are gotten away with. But Pop 2. Good job, Jordan. Good
I love that
recommendation.
movie. I've been recommending that movie to everybody. I really enjoyed that movie.
Josh should watch it. It's on Netflix, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will for sure.
So we both watched, right?
Trigger
we both
warning.
watched Trigger Warning with Jessica Alba,
Dark Angel.
Dark Angel.
Oh, Jessica Alba.
I love her. She's so talented, and she should just be in everything. Honestly, she should be written into every single episode of television.
Or is she adorable?
And a billionaire. By the way.
Really?
She's a businesswoman. Yeah, She invented the what is it? Honest Company. That's her company.
Yeah, Honest Wipes.
Yeah, she's a billionaire, dude.
She cares about the cleanliness of your buttocks.
Jessica Alba wants to know what's up with your butthole, bro.
So this movie was a mess from start to finish, just an absolute mess. I like how she just stabs her own ally in the hand with a knife.
He's just offing people,
right?
Like, for no reason. There's no explanation to why he's just offing people. He just bop bop.
Yeah, just shooting hostages. But she stabs him. Yeah, and her partner in the car is like, hey, you can't solve every problem you have with a knife. And I just thought it would have been great because she gets her little lead because something that...
She's just sharpening a knife the whole time this conversation going on.
She finds out something happened with her father, so she has to go home. And so she's taking her leave. And I thought it would have been great if she was, giving her farewell to hop on the jet to go home. And all her comrades were waving goodbye, and they all just had knife wounds in their hands. I thought that would have been a great touch. Yeah. Well, thank God that one's leaving. No, yeah, it's the dialogue is horrible. She's chatting with the old sheriff from her hometown in a scene, and he's trying to tell her what he believes happened with her father, and he just says, "Sorry, I don't know what's going on. My hands are sweaty." That's how the end of this dialogue. That's literally the end of this dramatic kind of dialogue scene. Like, sorry, I really don't know what's going on. My hands are sweaty. Okay, let's get out of here.
Gorilla walks away.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, I mean, is exactly how I would feel if I was having a conversation with Jessica Alba. Yeah. My hands would be sweating profusely. She pours a beer. She's supposed to be like grew up in a bar, like her dad owned a bar and all this whatnot. She pours she pours the foamiest, and I mentioned this in past movies where they pour beers. It is the foamiest beer pitcher. It is like 3/4 foam that she's taking to a table. I was like, what is going on here?
And they don't even make a head joke when they do it. They just act all serious.
Yeah. This whole movie is just hillbillies playing with machine guns and javelin missiles. Just some high-grade military tech.
Take the small-town drug runners and replace them with small-town's weapons runners. Yeah. New concept.
You like that? We can get you some drones if you like. You like drones?
You like drones?
What?
Okay.
That's right. He does say that. Yeah. Well, we can't get you all the rocket launchers we promised, but how about we throw in some drones?
Yeah. They never explain.
No.
They never explain what these guys need all this weaponry for. They just need it. My favorite scene in this movie is, I'm going to spoil it. This is a stupid movie. Don't watch it. It's a popcorn.
Really bad.
So I'm going to spoil a little bit of it here. The dad is a politician, and his one son is the clear-cut bad guy throughout the movie.
How is he a senator from a town with 50 people in it?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
It doesn't. Nothing makes sense. His son is the clear-cut bad guy. His other son is the sheriff of the town, and he is in on it too. And the two sons are arguing in a room. This is your fault. No, this is your fault. And then the dad gets up and cocks his gun and says, "Y'all shut up!" Like, what are you going to do? Were you going to shoot shoot one of your sons?
That's the same thing. I was like, "What are you going to do? Shoot your son?"
Yeah, he took it. And it was totally like unnecessary. Like what he went up to a 13 right away. It's stupid movie. Popcorn. That's all I got.
Yeah,
Popcorn.
I mean, I would be remiss if we got to what Jordan's pick for his drunk classic is if I didn't mention the very obvious stunt double in the silhouette playing with a machete that she grabbed for no reason. I'm going to take this machete. I'm going to go into the desert so I'm silhouetted. I'm going to walk 20 unnecessary steps because I got to walk back to the car now. And I'm just going to flip this machete around. And it's very obviously not Jessica Alba. Like, it's very obviously not her. Flipping. Like, the person gets taller and...
Like Britney Spears.
Is this a movie from, like, the 80s with very low budget? Like, Electric Boogaloo style movie? What is happening here? And she just flipping it off. And I was like, all right, that was pretty corny, but do your thing. Popcorn. I agree with Jordan. And I alluded to it a second ago, but Jordan, it is your pick for the Drunk Classic this week.
All right. I'm going to go right into my wheelhouse. It's going to be a war movie, but it is going to be a fantasy war movie. Historical fiction, takes place in World War II. But this is not a good movie. I'm going to tell you, but this is a really entertaining movie. Really, really entertaining movie. It is called Overlord. We got some Nazi zombies
I've seen
in real life.
This came out not that long ago. This came out
not like that long ago. Yeah.
2017?
Yeah.
That still counts.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to watch this. I hear things, so I'm
excited. Saw it in the theater. It's based on a
video
game.
It has got one of it's pretty much Nazi zombies from Call of Duty. But it's very the Doom movie series, but just like with a really good war, like actual war element to it. It's got one of the most intense opening scenes in theaters. I watched this and I was sweating. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
It's good. It's good, kid.
All right. So
that's what's up.
We like it. We got a butter on top, but I'm going to make it a double feature so Jordan doesn't go rogue and so Josh doesn't go rogue because I have a feeling there's either going to be a rogue situation or we're going to watch both. Like that's
I probably will watch both, honestly.
So we've got a Yorgos Lanthimos film starring Jesse Plemons again and Emma
Yorgos.
Stone. What did I say?
I know I said I am Yorgos.
Oh.
Commercial. Yeah. I got to do it every time.
Kinds of Kindness. It is 3 hours. To warn the audience, I don't know why he needs to make 3-hour films, but he does. All right? It's 3 hours. And then we have A Quiet Place Day 1, 1 hour and 40 minutes. So the choice is yours. What do you want to watch with us? We are going to see at least one or both. So we're going to do a double feature butter on top. Josh, how do you feel about that?
Hey, I feel good. I do regret to inform I won't be able to watch either again because I'm going to be immobile this whole week with surgery recovery.
Get your belly cut open.
Yeah. So, good luck. I really want to see both movies, specifically Kinds of Kindness, because I like those kind of movies that you pay a lot of money to go see and you leave, like, confused.
Yeah.
Like, you're not sure if you even regret coming. Like, did I like that? You know? I'm sure it's going to be great. No, it looks great. I'm just saying, like, I like those kind of movies.
It's got to be better than Pretty Things. Oh, my God.
Poor Things.
Poor Things. Ugh.
All right. Well, that's the end of our show. Remember to follow Jordan and our account at Popcorn and Beers on Insta and Twitter. That Insta's been very active. Please check it out. Check out our shorts. Check us out on YouTube at the Sad Fan Podcast Network. As always, we will see you at the movies. You bring the popcorn, and we got the beer. That's when Josh beatboxes. All right.